into game. Welcome to the load screen for map number 3. It is tied up 1-1, and we got a bit of a resub during the ad break. I'm sorry we missed it. JTDC for the 9 months. What you gonna name your sub, baby man? Was it a boy or a girl? Fill us in on the details, but thank you very much for coming back once again. However, in the semifinals, as mentioned just now, it's tied up 1-1, and in the bottom left corner of the map, swapping colors, stealing that blue, it's Marinelord.
In the top right, as the red Terran, it's Liquid Bunny.
So Scooter brings up something, kind of just going back on that last game. You mentioned you can't really drop tanks into the army because there's no instant shots. And Scooter says, Pult says you can't drop tanks like that unless you have a bigger army. And that's actually very true. One thing we've been noticing consistently through this is it's not so bad to drop if you don't get the first shot, as long as you get more shots off with your tanks. And that's basic principles of StarCraft too, I guess. You know, concaves, army, and all that. I do feel though, like, again, there's gonna be at some point a bit of finesse where you try and purposely drop out like maybe one tank earlier than the rest, so the rest can land before getting shot upon. Or I'm not sure. Like, the matchup still has a lot of ways to go to evolve, and with the changes that were made at the end of beta, the changes that are sure to come later on, I mean, we're gonna see TvT change a lot. But right now, it does pretty much seem like it is Cyclones, if not Banshees, and no mech. At least for now, no mech.
Not really. But Marinelord, like you said, has used it a couple of times, so maybe once in a best of 5, as long as he's not down 2-0, which he's not. Wouldn't be totally impossible. It is Orbital Shipyard, so if the Proxy Racks wasn't used last game, it probably would have been used this game.
Yo, I actually need to grab some covers because I'm freezing. I will be back just one sec. Let me go follow this.
He's gonna go all cuddle up. If only he had his cat with him.
I'm having hypothermia!
No, you're not.
I will be if I don't get these covers.
I don't have my jacket off and like my fan on. It's warm in my room.
I hate you. You know what? I hope you freeze in Toronto. I hope you're gonna be so cold all the time.
I am going to be so cold.
I hope you have a nice jacket, Zombie Grub.
I hope that guy is willing to pay some serious heating bills.
Actually, from what I hear, it's actually still fairly warm in Toronto, so we maybe don't have to worry.
Oh yeah, it's the same in New York. I remember I was complaining about that.
I don't understand. I'm sitting here, it's like, it was -2 yesterday, and Toronto, it's like bright and sunny 15. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
This guy ain't normal. What did I miss? I just sat back down.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. Whoa! It only got too soon when you said that.
Well, I mean, Marinelord's the one from France. Let's not forget. So.
You mean literally meant too soon?
Well, I mean, like, I think his statement was too soon. Bunny calling out for being too soon was, yeah, a little too soon, but also not the only too soon. It's like when you make Abraham Lincoln jokes. Too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon.
9/11 jokes are still too soon.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That was only like 2 months ago.
Ha! Oh, you.
Too soon.
Or if you're European, it was 12 days ago.
Oh, because 11/9. Actually, I should be making that joke because that's how Canadians see the calendar as well.
Canadians are funny.
Wow.
Let's leave it at that.
That's rude.
No, it's a compliment. You're hilarious.
Thank you. I know. It makes more sense though because it's whatever.
I know it makes more sense, whatever, man. But you know what I'm doing to you right now? Like, I know you don't like the movie as much as me, but in Spy, when the lady's always saying that you're hilarious for wearing that dress, it's so stupid. That's what I'm doing to you right now.
I love Rose.
Hilarious. You're so stupid.
I love Rose Bryn. She's so good.
Okay, so Drop is gonna get scouted by the Hellions. That's pretty nice. Now, of course, is there anything to defend?
No, they have to race
besides
back home.
Hellions?
There are going to be a considerable amount of Hellions, though. There's 4 over here chasing, and there's already 4 back at home.
Yeah, it's not like he needed to go back home, I think.
What?
But it's like there's nothing the Hellions would have done with a wall off, anyways.
Oh, it's Marinelord. I keep forgetting they swapped colors. There's no reason I should be getting confused based on colors. I'm casting StarCraft 2 via synesthesia, guys. But I was gonna say, Marinelord with such a heavy Hellion count, if he's going Vikings like this might actually be a mech game coming out of him for map number 3 here.
Good point. Well, gonna take out the Marines, then immediately pick up. And that is too many Hellions, and they're still producing Hellions, so you kind of are hinting like, okay, maybe factories, maybe mech, and well, Bunny might be taking the same thing. Somehow his Cyclone sunk in here. What the hell?
Yeah, he did this during the qualifiers, so I was just getting really aggressive with it. But with the amount of Hellions out, it does take care of the Cyclone. Dropping the natural base, getting a couple of kills, but it's such a low amount of Marines, it's really nothing too scary. But getting a worker lead is still getting a worker lead, and Bunny is now up about 3 SCVs. Plus, and most importantly, that third base.
Marinelord is going mech, I'd say. It's pretty safe to say. He's got 2 tech labs ready to have factories on them. And producing both Hellions and Vikings. Is a pretty good sign. Now, it's orbital shipyard, so besides like good for the Reaper proxies, it's also just good for builds that need, you know, a very safe economy. Like, obviously safe economy is good for anyone, but especially mech. They cannot be like, you know, pulled every which way, or they will easily lose. And even if they aren't being pulled every which way and like it's the void, they're still questionable.
So there's a new series that came out recently, Jessica Jones. Are you watching?
Yes.
Going to watch that?
Probably.
I actually am not a big fan of Kristen Ritter, but I watched a couple episodes for bed last night. It's interesting.
Okay. I tried to watch Daredevil. I still haven't finished that.
Really? I actually quite enjoyed Daredevil the whole way through. The one thing I thought they did well with Daredevil was not just like the cinematography or the camera work or any of those other good things, but the episodes were connected very well. I feel a lot of shows have like a very clear start and stop for the story in each episode, whereas Daredevil was one really long story and each episode was like a chapter in that story. Like, I thought they connected it really well. A lot of shows I find do not do that.
I'm too busy watching Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Yeah. Gotta get hyped, man.
Kid show.
New Star Wars hype. That's the thing. Like, okay, we might not get to go to Home Story Cup, but we got Star Wars.
Oh boy! Wait a minute. Why are there double armories for Bunny?
He's not going mech. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. Unless he's going air.
Base?
He's like, I'm gonna feign bio into like double air upgrade.
I mean, this is something you could try and do, even back in Wings of Liberty, but it was just, it is. Okay, so, I mean, your answers to mech, especially when it was good Turtle Mech and Heart of the Swarm, is either to try and just keep on trading out and win early, or play the long con and get like an accelerated economy yourself, and then go for air. And Bunny's trying a ladder.
Right, speaking of accelerated economy, again, you weren't here for this, so you didn't get to watch, but one of the games Bunny had done, he had played what I was referring to as kind of Zergy. He just took a lot of expansions very quickly and started throwing his money at Marinelord when he was playing mech, and ended up going pretty well, to be honest, despite losing the series overall. Drop coming towards the main. It is going to be Hellbats, or sorry, pardon me, Hellions. No Blue Flame though, so still scary, not super scary.
Well, even if SCVs get lost here, they should be easily replaced with 4 SCCs and probably a lot of time, because Marinelord's not looking to push out even for a 4th base until he's probably at 150 supply, and then maybe not push out at all until he's maxed out. That is a lot of time for Bunny to replenish SCVs, to get this really decent economy on 4, even 5 bases, and of course to get that air army. Now the question I have is, you go like Liberators, Banshees, or battlecruisers, and apparently it's battlecruisers.
Oh, this is so cool. So, really just emphasizing and stressing, this used to be the way you would do it in HOTS. It was really cool to see. Battlecruisers are fantastic because mech generally lacks anti-air. That will go Vikings, but Bunny is going to have to get his own Vikings up behind this. Like, if he just goes pure battlecruisers, Bunny loses this game. Not even a question. But the one thing that's really different, and I think more awesome than past instances of this, is if you get your battlecruiser stuck in a bad position and the Vikings are going to kill them, you set a Yamato cannon, you could actually warp out. Keep in mind, this is not like a Mothership Core recalling where you can still hit it. The second you hit that warp button on the battlecruiser, it becomes invincible.
The problem with the once upon a time we thought was going to be a really cool tactic about jumping in and out is that you can only do one or the other. You can jump out of a worst case scenario, or you can jump into a necessary position or a backstab, and then you have to wait quite a while.
There's this other really cool thing Supernova was doing before he retired, and that's what I'm kind of thinking Bunny's heading towards, and this does involve warp specifically, was where you start split pushing. You take half your bio on one side of the field and you pressure/push, you take your battlecruisers to the other. Mech players can't split the same way bio can, and they're not fast enough to respond to both locations at once. So if you decide to fight the bio, either the battlecruisers push in and win, or alternatively you decide to fight the battlecruisers, they can actually warp over to the bio, and then twice as strong on the other side of the map. There's a lot of tactics that really become open and available with this, and the split push is probably the most dangerous aspect of it.
I think that's what 4GG was doing on stream, or some Terran streamer that I was watching.
Probably 4GG as well. He's also very good at
they were using battle cruisers to jump in, and then because they were so active around the map, they actually had the time to eventually jump out.
Ooh, nice deny at this base.
Yeah, well, not enough Marines to really kill it. I really like what Bunny did on this base, by the way. So the blue flame Hellion is just going around the bunker, but I still thought it was cool that he gets an orbital instead of a planetary. The planetary obviously would help against Hellion run-bys, but when push comes to shove, you can't lift it and run away. In this case, he's going to have air control, so you can always lift it and run away.
Well, it's not only that, but planetaries are just in general less effective versus mech, right? Siege tanks, even the Hellions would sit behind the mineral lines if the cannon can't reach it. So you accept that you're going to lose SCVs and replace it with more mules, I think is the better logic behind it.
Well, I like that they put the bunker there. Anyways.
Yes, I agree. I like that too. Did he not go for concussor shells this game though? Oh, he did. Okay, it just didn't look like it the way Hellions were running around. But this hasn't been revealed at this point. Bunny had been hiding this back for a long time, so these battlecruisers are gonna be the first time Marinelord gets a whiff of this. And I mean, it's not like he's without his own anti-air. He's a huge Viking fleet. Oh my God, 21 Vikings is too many Vikings.
Probably not, actually. Probably absolutely necessary.
Well, actually, you're true. I'm just saying it's crazy to see this many.
Oh, poor SCVs, rip.
Okay, not too many die, but here's the thing about this that makes this a little bit awkward. Vikings cannot fight battlecruisers at face value, and they usually have to kite around. This is another tactic where you could actually warp on top of the Vikings or behind them, the same way we would see people use versus Tempest, but it's not going to be warp. It's going to be Yamato cannons coming down to take out these Vikings. Bunny's own Viking's going to try and fight this out. It's going to be 16-8. I don't know about this. If Bunny keeps getting kited, he can just turn around and try and pick off the siege tanks, but he's going to lose this fight. He's getting kited hard.
But he is going into the third and potentially main of Marinelord. Yeah. It's a bio army. Not a lot of medevacs. Unfortunately, you really need medevacs in this scenario. They are going to have to stand by one, like, again.
But he's already on top of the production, so this is actually going to be really nice. And he ends up winning the fight in the top left because the Vikings were shooting the battlecruisers. They weren't shooting the other Vikings, and Bunny's Vikings eventually won out. Now, as he continues to produce battlecruisers, this still might work out well, especially with the fact that he just took off one of the reactors from those starports. This bio army, by the way, barely alive. One siege tank is going to blow away like half of it, but still getting the job done. Bunny split pushing once again. Command center. Oh. Okay, well, battlecruiser's barely going to live through that. Barely. This is where you start dropping mules, not for manner, but to actually repair your army on the go. But good game gets called, and Bunny makes battlecruisers work. That was awesome. Hiding the tactics until the finals of the tournament. Didn't even use these once during the qualifiers, but nicely done. 2-1 now, lead in the series. Best of 5 means he's got one more game to go before he's won it all. I guess Snoot might be back home from China. I don't know. He just logged on to Europe and got like 50 achievements.
Yeah, he's playing the campaign.
Nice. All right, guys, we're going to a break. Stick around. We'll be back soon with game number 4.